Self, and I'll get out of the way and we'll let Vicki tell us about her life.
Okay. You coming up?
I'll signal when you have about 30 minutes. Okay.
Okay.
Well, you want this up close?
No, that's fine. I'll stand up for a little bit. Well, first of all, I'd like to thank Bob and everyone for asking me. I really appreciate that. It's been a long career. It's been a good career. I started singing professionally when I was 16, and the picture that was on Facebook is, I'll back up. The picture that's on Facebook is my very first job. And that was, I don't know if all of you are from Springfield or been around here. This was at the Cactus Club, and I'm trying to remember the original name of the club on East Kearney. But this is John Cly, a very well-known drummer. Larry Don Williams later on in another band. Ronnie Rook on lead guitar. And I can't, Phil, but I don't remember Phil's last name, playing the saxophone. They were from Joplin. And from there, the reason I had this job is kind of a funny story to me, and I have a dear friend over it that's gone already, but I miss him dearly. He owned the club, run the club, and I would go in, and back in the 60s, it wasn't that particularly hard for young people to go in clubs, as it is today, obviously. I was 16 years old, and I would go in and sit in with the band, hang around about 30 minutes, 45, and dance a little bit, and leave and go downtown. We'll go to the Esquire or the Rendezvous or somewhere like that, and sit in again. So this dear gentleman that owned this business, Sherrod Smith was his name, Sherrod Smith. And everybody called him Smitty, of course. And he said, I want to know how much money it'll take to keep you here, because every time you leave, all my customers go downtown. And I thought, you got to be kidding me. I mean, you know, this is not happening. But anyway, he offered me an amount of money, and I said, no, if you want me to sing here, you got to pay me what I'm worth. And then he just cracked up and started laughing, of course. Well, what do you think you're worth? Well, I said, I think I'm worth at least $125. In 64, and he said, I'll pay it. Bingo, you got the job. So that was my first gig, and I loved it, and we were friends until his death, and his family, he took me in as one of his family. Anyway, that's how I got started. But before that, my family, we were raised on a farm. My mother was very talented, and while I was looking through all the information about my childhood, or trying to find something to bring to tell you or show you, I remember I found a letter that my mother wrote as a teenager to her sister. She was in Tin Town, Missouri, and her sister lived in Springfield, and she wrote her a letter, and she said, are you coming this Saturday night? She said, I really need you to bring the guitar. She said, I was going to borrow so-and-so's, and I didn't know who that person was, or I could remember the name. But they took it somewhere else, and I have rehearsal. Those are the words she used. And she never told me about this personally. The only thing she told me about was, you have filled my dream, when she come to see me sing. And that made me very happy. I can tell you that right now, because I loved it. From 6 years old, I was singing, and by 8, I could play the guitar. Carried my guitar to school in the 7th and 8th grade. Had a marvelous music teacher, Bill Hickman, that passed away this year. And I think I cried for 2 days over that. I was really, I had told him, but yet I felt like I didn't get a chance to express to him what an influence he had on my life. That he gave me confidence from a very poor family. I had difficulty reading music, and he told me, don't worry about it, because a lot of people that have natural talent can't read music. For some reason, it's just a block. And I mean, here's somebody that played piano for the Springfield Symphony, taught school in Springfield his entire life. Well, before then, he had a career also. But for him to give me that kind of confidence, I'm going to pose through here while I'm talking and see if I can find a couple of old pictures from school I found in the 7th and 8th grade, standing on stage. I need my co-helper. Oh, here it is. Fabulous. You're good, Wendy. I have my daughter with me. She helped me get this stuff together. Okay. I think this is the 7th grade in front of the symphony, and just made me feel great. My brother, you want to pass around? Okay. My brother at that time, Vicki Self, I'm sure you all know about him, was a rockabilly star. He had Bopalina, Ain't My Dog, several hits, was on Dick Clark's show, and we could talk about him all day, but we're not going to. He's had his light. Isn't that terrible? Anyway, I still appreciate his music and listen to songs that hasn't been recorded that he wrote, and have always wanted to do an album by Ronnie, and maybe someday I will. I don't know. But anyway, 7th and 8th grade, in front of the whole school, singing with the choir or the band that Bill Hickman put together, and it just gave me the confidence. I just carried my guitar there, and there we went. I was singing I'm Sorry and Sweet Nothings and all the songs, if you want to. They kind of smell like they've been in the mothballs. No, basement.
We have the big one, Mom.
Big what?
The big picture. He wanted me to pass the big one of the band
Oh,
that you showed at
okay.
first.
Right. I probably threw it away. No, here it
I'm sorry.
is. If you knew where all this stuff was. I hit my hand getting something down yesterday. Big. I said, boy, that's going to look nice tomorrow. I'm pulling it down. All right, anyway. So Larry Boyd is here, and Larry, I have 2 8x10s at the hitching post with Larry Boyd right up front. I worked at the hitching post for the Shrivers for at least 20 years. How long were you there, Larry?
I think I was there about 7 years.
7?
7 years. From 75 to 82.
That's about right. I've been known to exaggerate. Well, it seemed like a lot longer than that. Let me put it to you that way. 2 different bands, and in this band, Lloyd Hicks is back here, and Lloyd texted me this morning and said, I'm sorry I can't be there today. I want to be there to support you, but he started a new job today. And also with Lloyd, a long history of recording at KWTO. I had the great pleasure of going to Nashville, Tennessee with Ronnie and recording young. Saw Ray Stevens and Jerry Blake Reed, thank you. Thank you very much. Running back and forth to the studios, doing their harmonies and in blue jeans as boys, and I was a lot younger, 13, 14 years old. But anyway, Lloyd would play drums at KTTS. He's a great studio drummer, worked with him a lot, and he's a fabulous musician and a great friend of mine. So he's in this picture. And there's Gary Myers is here that works at Branson. and Al Scott that is now in Florida. Same hitch and post group, but this one's a little more complicated. We got Cloyd McCurdy, who's a dear friend of mine, and Larry. And what was the first bass guitar player's name, Larry? The one who said he wouldn't work with a girl.
Hey, Willie Scarborough.
Oh, Willie Scarborough. He wasn't there long. What can I say? All right. And then me. I liked him, though. He was a very nice guy, but geez. All right. This gentleman standing up is Carrie Borneman. And Carrie Borneman married my younger sister, who owned the Top Rail and Cowboys 2000. And she sang when she was at the Top Rail. Dina did, my sister Vicki Self. Okay, this gentleman is L.T. Trogdon, and he married my middle sister, Rita. So we got the band in the family. So, you want to pass those around, Wendy? That's super duper. Anyway, in the early 60s, I had a great opportunity to go on a USO show. And we were going to Vietnam. And we got all booked and the date and everything. And at the last minute, went with Gary Ellison. And it was when Bob Hope wasn't going to Vietnam anymore. No entertainers could go there. So we went to Korea. I was 20 years old, and that's the day we left. And so we went to Japan and Korea, and we went to the DMZ zone, Korea, which to me, I did not know we had a DMZ zone in Korea. There wasn't very much publication about it. The deaths of the U.S. soldiers in Korea, it was all on Vietnam. And so to see these guys, these young guys, so appreciative of home entertainment was just a blessing I'll never forget, never, ever. And when I got home, I was met with my brother Ronnie and this gentleman from Bell Records with a recording contract. So that's information and pictures that you can see. I don't think the recording contract worked out, but I've recorded 2 albums in Nashville, and I'm proud of both of them. I'm going to pass those around, Wendy. Here's some pictures that went with the USO show, just to show you how ridiculous hair and clothes were back then. And don't laugh till I leave. Little fat cheeks and short hair, I love it. What'd you bring all these for?
Because you told me to.
Oh, here's the soldiers. I love this the best. Okay. All right. This is the Jim Cottengim right here. Mr. Jim Cottengim. Jimmy and I have known each other since, and to say, if you don't know, Jimmy is gone. And I thought that Stoney was going to come today and would have loved to have seen him or Guy, Jody Guy. That looks just like his dad. But we went to 7th and 8th grade together also. And he wanted to know if I'd come up and show him how to play the piano, of which I knew nothing but chords. I could play all the chords, but no licks. And this many years later, he asked me to record songs that he wrote. And that was on the album you just listened to. So we went to Nashville, and oh, here's some more of the soldiers, honey. Appreciate that.
Yes.
Yeah. This is a picture of my dad. My mother passed away at a young age, unfortunately. She was 56. I think I was 25, right, Wendy? No. 28. 30?
Yeah.
Never dispute her.
I was 5. I was 5.
You were?
That would have made you 30.
Oh. Well, I should have been more understanding. But it just didn't work out that way. Well, anyway, my dad is a wonderful man, and he was here till 96 and babied all of us. And this is a picture of my brother Sammy, who, by the way, learned to play the guitar first when Mother got a guitar. I mentioned that. And then Ronnie wanted it, and that was pretty much that story. But Sammy is very talented, also wrote songs, as I did, and have some published with Earl Barton Music. In fact, I had one held by the judge. I was like this for 6 months. But it didn't work out, but it is a good song. Anyway, my dad, my younger sister, me, and Sammy, my brother. Now, I'm a caretaker for Sammy, have been for the last 6 or 7 years. I own my own home, but he has his home. So he has cancer, he's in remission, and I'm sure that he feels better than I do lots of days. I don't know which one is the worst. But anyway, he's a sweetheart, and our family's very close. And this is my beautiful 2 daughters. I have 2 daughters and 2 grandkids. I have a granddaughter with this one and a grandson with this one. And I am, as of recently, a great-grandma.
Do they sing?
Yes, they sang. But I really wanted them to have an education first. The people that sing like I've loved for so many years, it's like having your own business. You give 10.99s to your musicians. You pay them as much as you make. It's unbelievable when it's retirement time, all the taxes you pay in, what you get for retirement. You have to make a lot more money than that. Although I thought I did a fantastic job with a great house, and my kids had everything they needed, a lot more than me, I can tell you. But it's not that way for musicians when they retire, and I think that's sad, really sad. But anyway, here's my 2 grandkids and my 2 daughters. I'm going to pass those around, Wendy. All right, you're a good girl. And this one, too.
I'm out of trouble now?
You're out of trouble.
Okay, good.
You don't have to walk home. Okay, there's something else going on here. Often in the musician business, you go from one place to another. You know, it's not easy to keep a steady job. But in the years that I sang in Springfield, I sang as a house band for years and years. I went from one place to another, from one place to another. In 1996 is the year my dad passed away, and Dina and Carrie, Dina was having a little trouble with her voice, and they asked me to come down to the top rail. I had another job at the Oaks, and they asked me to come down and help them, and I did. And my dad was there the night before Thanksgiving in 1996 and saw me and Dina sing together for the first time in years, and he passed away the next day. Yeah, he fell and had an accident, and so no suffering there. I love that. But that was just meant to be. But I did sing some more after that at a different place. But all the years I worked at the Townhouse 2 years. I went to the Hitchin Post. Then Helen Hardy sold the first Hitchin Post, which moved 3 times. And I moved it all 3 times with them. And then Larry's shaking his head, yep. That's right, Larry. And then the Hitchin Post sold to Paul Sherrard, an out-of-town man and his wife. And they hired me right away, and I worked more at the hitching post. I don't know how many more years. I'm afraid to guess, Larry. And then Paul sold the hitching post, and Johnny Patton took it over. And then I went to work for him and stayed longer. Meanwhile, between the jobs, if I needed a job, I could always depend on Gary Summers, or I worked a lot of small clubs in Springfield. I worked Flanagan's, and there's a lot of articles here on where I worked. Not near as many. I don't remember the names of the little books. Oops. That they that they put out in hotels back then with the local entertainment. I don't remember what they were called, but I was in those all the time.
Springfield nightlife.
Springfield nightlife. Yes, I was in there. Lots of side jobs. Mayfest, 1982. I don't even remember it. I don't. I used to do a lot of the apple festivals. My daughter's laughing the hardest. Oh, I did you remember the reunion band, the 50s? Mike McAllister? I worked with them at a gig. This is our song list. I know lots of 50s songs. So that rehearsal took about an hour. This is my very first promo picture. I was 16 there. I think I was 6 here in a homemade dress. So, a little bit different. But, yeah, turned out all right. Then I had some more made. And then, more. Different places, albums, covers. Okay. Trying to think what else I need to tell you.
Recording sessions.
The recordings. Recordings are really fun. If you haven't recorded, of course, the new digital system is a shame. It's a shame because you don't know what's real and what isn't. You know, and the new being a star is different. You don't have to work for it. You go on a show, and if you hit the right notes and behave correctly, you got a career. You don't work 10, 20 years in a nightclub and put up with the things you do to do what you love and walk in any place and become a star. It's hard to do. It's totally different now. But recording is a lot of fun. Musicians are great people. They have great hearts. I've never met one I don't like. I love them to pieces. They work their tails off for you. And likewise, I would hope.
Who's your producer?
It was Jim Martin, the late Jim Martin. Yeah. The album, wherever it may be, do I have it or you have it? Okay. If anybody wants to see who was on the session or, yeah, go just pass it around, yeah. That's the best way. Fabulous session with the best pickers. Just, you know, when you create a product, you can't just let the product lay there. You got to take it out and sell it to somebody. And, I mean, I wasn't in a position to do that, and it just didn't happen. I have another album that's not pressed. It's on 16 tracks, and a good friend of mine wrote the songs, Larry Williams, who's also not with us anymore. It's a fabulous album, fabulous album. It is then what country is today. It's totally different. It's just fabulous. And I thank Lou Whitney's studio, and if anybody knows or wants to correct me, I appreciate that, because I'd love to know where a 16-track machine is where I can get that.
I know.
You do? Fabulous. I love that. I really need to get that off onto something I can listen to, if nothing else. I really do. Recording is lots of fun. It's tedious. You go in and sing the songs basically with a 3 or 4 piece band. And then you leave. And then they bring other pieces of instruments in to add to it or take away from it. The harmony parts are often done without you. And then you go back in and tweak anything you need to or want to. It's not easy. It's long, and it's really hard. It's really hard. But you gotta love it. That's all there is to it. You're expressing yourself in a way that frees the soul. Music is a fabulous, fabulous thing. Trying to think what else I need to tell you. I've just had a great career. What, honey?
How many brothers and sisters did you have?
I had 2 younger sisters and 2 older brothers. My oldest brother is Ronnie, and then Sammy is 6 years younger than Ronnie, I think. And then me. There's 3.5 years between me and Sammy. And then they started coming a little faster after that. Then Rita, there's a year and 10 months difference from me, and then Dina. So Dina is the baby of the family. And she's a good entertainer too. You know, it's tough to sing every night. But I know one time my contract had run out at one club, and I was working I got a job at another club. I think it was Flanagan's. Y'all remember that? Flanagan's? Okay. Well, my oldest daughter was getting married at the time, and it just wasn't enough money for me to make me happy. So I went down to Gary Summers, and he said, okay, yay, let's do an afternoon gig. So I sang 3.5 hours at Gary's place when it was on Battlefield. And I had like 45 minutes to get ready and go to Barnaby and Flanagan's to sing for 4 hours, which with breaks it's 40 minutes or whatever. 8 hours with not that many singers in the band. Whew, it was a great wedding, but boy, I was a horse. She got what she wanted. Don't they always? Oh, love them babies. But you know, one of the reasons that I didn't go to Nashville is a family has always been very, very important to me. My older brother was in the music business and went on the road, and that pretty much just, I don't know, it changed his lifestyle. Let's put it like that. And I didn't want to pursue that kind of thing without having a product to sell. If I go on the road and I had a record, there's a reason for me to be there. If I go on the road as a sideshow behind or before somebody else, no good. You might as well stay home. It's no good. I want to stay with my kids. So I did have a chance once to go to Nashville and just record commercials. And I had a chance to do several things, but I turned them down. I just love my home and my kids. And I still got to do what I loved anyway, so what the heck? You know? And I got the funniest feeling later on in my life when I was singing. I don't have that feeling when I sing right now because I am singing again. And part of the band is here tonight, DC, and I see Mark back there too. I've started rehearsing, and going to take a while to get my voice back in shape. But the feeling that I had in 96, and I can't really explain it to you. It's like I don't have to be a star to know I'm successful. I've reached the goal. I've done it. It's a fabulous feeling. You don't have to worry about it. You know, why didn't I do this? Why didn't I do that? You don't have to, because I done it. And that was just... Well, that was the best feeling ever. I'm telling you that right now. That was great.
Did you work with Cy at all?
Yeah, I did work with Cy. Cy's the one that kind of hooked me up with the USO show. He loved my writing, published my songwriting. But as recording, no. I went to him once with me and Dina, with just the idea. Dina wasn't with me. Before the Judds, because we had family harmony, and we sounded great together. I said, you know, we should do a girl duet. Well, that's just not selling now. That's just not selling.
Cy said that.
Yeah, uh-huh. It was before the Judds.
Okay.
Yeah, before the Judds.
But he was always kind of the guy who was the first to put it all out.
Yeah, that's true. But, you know, Ronnie went to him with I'm Sorry, too. I love Cy. He's the greatest person. I mean, I'm not trying to say anything against that man, because he's fabulous. But, you know, Ronnie took I'm Sorry to him, and he said, go home, son, and write some more. That was a pretty big hit, I'd say. Yes, sir.
So you have such a strong and clear voice skill. What do you do in terms of warm-up exercise for your voice?
Well, really nothing. I don't know. I guess I'm spoiled. Sometimes I sing in the car on the way to rehearsal. Sometimes I don't, and then they all look at me funny when I start singing. I know DC texts me, you should try to stop smoking. And I can't smoke, because every time I pick up a cigarette, I see his face, and it's not pretty. I said, look what you've done, DC. Oh, my goodness. But, yeah, that's what I do. I went to see a Vince Gill concert just about a month ago. Talent, oh, my gosh. Oh, made you cry. Absolutely make you cry. Fabulous. Steel guitar player, Franklin is his last name. Paul Franklin. Just fabulous musicians. I really enjoy good music. I really do. Is it question time?
Yeah.
All right. Do you have any questions? Larry, tell them about the fake chocolate.
I'm not sure.
You're not sure either? Oh, I love Larry. And Larry and I worked together a long time.
7 years.
Yeah. But Larry, hey, Larry, you moved with me.
I sure did.
Yeah, you did. Yep,
Several times.
yep. I wondered.
Is there ever a talk about you and Ronnie and Dina doing a trio?
No,
No.
no. Too many years between us. Yeah, Ronnie was an only child for 6 or 8 years. So, yeah, no. Ronnie and I sang a lot together. We did a lot of recording together. I've looked over a list and list of his songs that he's written, and my name is on a lot of them. Yeah. And actually, a song I wrote, his name is on it. So true.
Did you record at KTTS all the time, or KWTS?
Yeah.
Was Those were the only studios here before Psy and Wayne opened?
KWTO, yeah, as far as I know, that's where we recorded.
Did you ever work with Wayne in the studio?
I know Wayne really well, but no. Wayne lived next door to Ronnie for 4 years. I mean, I'm talking driveway to driveway. And I know him really well. Him and Ronnie wrote a lot of songs together. And he learned a lot of things from Ronnie. Wayne's a super guy. I'm really sorry to hear that he's gone. And I knew Bridget and I knew Christian, and it was a sad thing. Any more questions? You gotta want to know something.
Where are you playing now? Are you doing house concerts and?
Well, actually, I'm singing for Bob on the 22nd at the ice cream social. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to be singing with Larry, Compliment, and hopefully DC and Dawn or whoever. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Some people in here from Aurora wondered how you hooked up with Patty Viles.
Because Gary Ellison. Yeah.
What did she do?
She sang and got engaged a lot. I hope she never hears this.
Yeah, have you ever thought about being a comedian?
I actually know, but I'm pretty good at it. She got engaged before we left Springfield, like 2 days before. And then while we was overseas, she broke that engagement off and got engaged again. Mm-hmm. And then when we got back to my daughter, cut. And then we got back to San Francisco, she stayed there because she had a boyfriend there. I was so confused. I really was. Yeah, she was having fun. She didn't care. What do you want to know?
Joel Whitburn's the only one that ever said that you guys were from Tin Town. Where the hell was or is Tin Town?
Tin Town is straight down.
That's Springfield.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, we're not from Tin Town, but my mother and dad's parents are from Tin Town, Missouri. And if you go straight down 65, it's before you get to Buffalo on the left. Yeah.
He said Tin Town.
Yeah.
Everybody else says Ronnie Self.
Yeah. That got started and they just let it go. Well, actually, he was born there, so he never lived there, but he was born there.
It's a good place to be from.
That's right. That's right. Yes, sir.
How did your youngest brother end up getting the guitar first?
Well, he was interested and wanted it, and my mom was very talented, and my dad loved music so much, couldn't sit still, jumping around, but she finger picked like this, and she would do that, and so, as a matter of fact, here's a picture of her with the guitar. You want to pass that around?
Did she perform?
Well, that's what I was trying to say earlier in the letter I found. She did do fairs, county fairs and things around. But,
You took it to the next level.
oh yeah, she got married too young, as they often did.
Ozark Fair?
Did I play there? Yeah.
Fairgrounds?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
At the big stage?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Worked there. Worked apple butter days, or no, not apple butter. Seymour, what is that? Apple days? Marshfield. That's terrible. I can't remember anything. Except what?
400 songs.
Yeah, I know. When you do that, you're fried anyway. So, any more questions? I've really enjoyed being here today, and I can't tell you, I've never expected anything like this, and I think it's fabulous to have an organization. The only other thing I would say for Springfield, Missouri, is it's so very sad that the people here don't have live music. Come on. I mean, little tiny clubs all over town. What happened to our talent appreciation from owners, and people should own 2 or 3 clubs with cell phones? Mm.
That and digital computers and all that.
Well, you go in a big club, you got a DJ. There's still room for entertainment. But, you know, it doesn't need to be DJs. They cost just as much as a band. Oh, DUIs. Yeah, that's pretty popular. Okay, I appreciate being here. Thank you very much.